Life is like a stage, and we are constantly performing. When we choose our outfit, when we speak, when we make decisions, it's as if we're sending a message. Like me. But approve me. Don't reject me. We want to look better, sound smarter, be more successful. But for whom? If you look deeper, the answer becomes clear. For others. You make a post and secretly wonder how many people will like it. Someone compliments you, your whole day lights up. But if you're criticized, your whole mood darkens in an instant. Why is this? Why does a single criticism shake us to our core while a like lifts us up? Why should someone's opinion define who we are? The truth is, as long as you measure your worth based on others' reactions, you will always remain weak. In this video, we'll show you how to break free from the need for validation, how to love yourself without needing to be approved, how to live free from others' opinions. There are no complicated philosophical ideas, just simple, real and practical approaches, ways that directly touch your daily life. If you've ever felt the emotions we'll talk about in this video, you're not alone. Thousands of people are going through the same thing, but it is possible to be free. Watch the video until the end. You'll see yourself in every minute of it. If you find it helpful, don't forget to like and share. It might change someone's life. And if you want to learn more about topics like this, subscribe to the channel because the truths you need are just beginning. Let's first look at the reasons behind our need for validation. Where do these feelings come from? From childhood, our lives are full of rules. We're told to be a good kid, get good grades, respect others. Among these, one of the most common things we hear is, "Well done." When parents, teachers, or friends praise us, it creates a warm feeling inside. These compliments often make us feel valuable and special. So as children, our greatest desire often becomes, "Please like me." This desire for approval is natural and rooted in the fact that humans are social beings. We want to be accepted and liked by others because it makes us feel safe and comfortable. But the problem begins when, over time, this desire turns into a need. A belief forms in our minds. I have value, but only if others approve of me. This mindset starts to affect every area of life. In childhood, it's just about getting praise. But as we grow up, dependency on others' opinions begins to dominate more and more of our lives. For example, when you propose a new idea at work, your first thought is, will my idea be accepted? When you meet with friends or share something, you wonder, will they like me or criticize me? When you post on social media, every like or comment feels like it fuels your energy. But when they're few, you feel bad inside. In this state, we begin to measure ourselves based on how we appear in the eyes of others. In other words, we drift away from our own inner value. Ask yourself this question. In daily life, when do I most often change myself based on other people's opinions? The truth is, we often adjust our words, behaviors, and even our thoughts according to others' reactions. This is a kind of loss of inner freedom. You can't fully express your true self because there's always an invisible judge watching in the eyes of others. To please this judge, we often hide our true emotions, suppress our desires, and even abandon our principles. And in the long run, this leads to exhaustion, disappointment, and even depression. Why does this happen? Because the core human need to be accepted and loved becomes tangled with the need for validation, eventually turning into a kind of dependency. Social media only accelerates this situation. Now every post feels like an exam. How many likes did it get? How many comments are there? Who didn't like it? These questions push you into constantly making a declaration. I'm here, please accept me. But we must remember, these digital approvals are temporary and hollow. They don't give you deep or genuine self-worth. They just create momentary pleasure. The worst part is that every time you don't get that validation, you begin to feel even more worthless. And this turns into a never-ending cycle. So, to break free from the need for validation, the first step is to understand where this dependency comes from. If you feel bad every time someone doesn't approve of you, or if you change your decisions based on how others might react, then this is a serious issue for you, and it means you're ready to change. Remember, true worth doesn't come from others' eyes, it comes from within. At first glance, the need for validation may not seem harmful. You might think, who doesn't want to be liked and appreciated? But the real issue is this. If you don't control your desire to be liked, it begins to control you. And when that happens, you slowly lose control over your life. When you crave approval, your mind starts asking, what should I say to please them? In conversations, you speak not your truth, but what you think others want to hear. Before posting on social media, you spend hours wondering, how will people react to this? You write a message, delete it, rewrite it, edit again because you fear being judged. This becomes like an invisible form of self-censorship. You're not expressing yourself. You're hiding yourself. To be liked, you start to abandon your thoughts, tastes, even your principles. Sometimes you agree with someone just so they'll like you, even when deep down you disagree. Instead of dressing the way you like, you dress how you think others will like. Sometimes you're even afraid to show who you really are, because the real me might not be liked. This turns you from the main actor of your own life into a background character in someone else's. And even worse, you start to forget what you truly want, what you actually love. Validation dependency brings you to a point where you no longer feel like doing anything unless someone praises you for it. If no one says well done, you lose motivation. You begin to feel worthless, invisible, even empty. It's like your entire life is attached to others' comments and reactions. A like feels like oxygen, and that kills your true inner power, because you can no longer live without others' attention. And the more attached you are to validation, the more you fear losing it. That fear makes you weak and dependent. You can't say no because you're afraid they won't like you. You hesitate to express your opinion. You choose to stay silent in the face of injustice rather than risk disapproval. At this point, you're no longer living as who you are. You're living according to what others expect you to be. You slowly start to lose your personality and your identity. And that's the most dangerous thing. Because when a person loses connection with themselves, they no longer even know what they truly want. So seeking validation might bring you temporary comfort, but in the long run, it leaves behind anxiety, inner emptiness, and emotional exhaustion. Living with the constant feeling of, I must be liked, is like being trapped in invisible chains, but breaking that chain is possible. The first step is simply this: acknowledging the situation and wanting your freedom back. People often measure their self-worth through the opinions of others, as if unless someone says you're good, we struggle to believe in ourselves. But here's the truth we often forget. Your value is not tied to anyone's opinion. You are valuable simply as you are, and remembering, accepting, and feeling that has the power to change your life. Loving yourself is not selfishness. It's the beginning of inner strength. People often misunderstand the phrase love yourself. They assume that someone who loves themselves is arrogant, selfish, or self-centered. But that's a big misconception. True self-love means recognizing the value within you and respecting it. It's not about being better than others. Rather, it's about seeing your own worth without comparing yourself to anyone. Loving yourself means seeing a chance to learn every time you make a mistake, rather than insulting yourself, forgiving yourself and moving forward. Instead of constantly blaming yourself for the past, being able to say, I am enough, without needing anyone's approval. Accepting yourself as you are is the beginning of change. Self-love doesn't mean refusing to grow. It's the opposite. True transformation begins when you fully accept yourself. If I'm standing here today, there's a reason for it. My emotions, my fears, my weaknesses, they are all a part of me. I'm not perfect, but I can improve. This mindset shifts you from fighting yourself to cooperating with yourself. Only when you accept who you are can you find the real motivation to grow. The one who can forgive their own mistakes is stronger. When we make mistakes, we often torment ourselves inside. How could I act like that? I should have done better. The self-blame drains your inner power. But you can choose to say, I made a mistake because I'm human, but that doesn't make me any less valuable. I can learn from it and move on. Making mistakes is part of being human. Someone who truly loves themselves connects mistakes not to their identity, but to their learning process. Being able to separate your worth from others' opinions, that's freedom. Imagine you're in a room, and 10 different people have different opinions about you. One says you're friendly, another says you're too passive. One likes you, another doesn't. But you're still the same person. So here's the question. Does your value actually change? No. Only other people's perceptions change. Someone who loves themselves understands this truth. I am not someone's point of view. I am myself. A person who feels their worth from within doesn't crave constant praise. They may enjoy hearing kind words, but their self-worth is not dependent on them. Someone who truly loves themselves is calm, strong, and free. They do not act according to others' opinions. When someone doesn't like them, they don't question their own worth. They don't collapse when criticized, because they have a steady sense of inner value. These people speak softly, but their words carry strength. They may not appear often, but when they do, they light up the space they're in, because their power comes from feeling their own worth inside. In the end, loving yourself is neither selfish nor weak. It is an inner belief that saves you from becoming a toy in someone else's hands. And if you're listening to this and thinking, maybe I should love myself more too, know that this is already the first sign that your inner strength is beginning to awaken. When you start your day, ask yourself, what did I do today not to please others but just for myself? This simple question will help you make more mindful choices in your daily life. Did you take a moment to rest? Did you listen to a song you love? Did you do something kind even if no one noticed? Answering this question every day will help you feel more connected to yourself, and you will realize you don't need anyone's well done to be valuable. The more we compare ourselves to others, the more we forget our own beauty. They're smarter than me. They've achieved more than I have. I'm not good at anything. Thoughts like these weaken you. But don't forget, you also have your own unique strengths. Don't focus on what others are doing. Focus on what you can do. Maybe you write beautifully. Maybe you're a great listener. Maybe you quietly brighten someone else's day. These are the things that make you who you are. Embrace them. People are used to only celebrating big achievements. A diploma, a job offer, a promotion. But the truth is, big successes are just the result of many small steps. If you got out of bed on time this morning, that's a success. If you were honest with yourself, that's progress. Did you post something without waiting for likes? Great. Each small victory gives you that empowering feeling. I can do this. And that feeling is the key to discovering your strength. The biggest change happens when you do the right thing, even when no one is watching. If you help someone even when there's no audience. If you make a choice not to be liked, but because it truly matters to you. That's real strength. And that strength sets you free, because you're no longer living for the approval of others. You're living with the awareness of your own existence. So remember this, your worth is not tied to opinions, status, or likes. You exist in this world for a reason. If you've listened this far and it resonates with you, then something has already started to shift within. Now let's talk about practical ways to reduce your need for validation. The need for approval is a habit built over years, but here's the good news. You can gradually weaken it and take back control. The small but powerful steps I'm about to share will help guide you back to yourself. Step 1. Take a day off from social media. It may seem simple, but it's a powerful test. For one day, don't post anything. Don't write a status. Don't scroll endlessly. Just focus on yourself. What do you feel? Do you feel bored? Do you keep reaching for your phone? Do you feel like you don't exist just because you didn't post something? That reaction reveals how deeply tied you are to seeking reactions. But this one day will show you something important. You exist, even without likes. Social media should not define your worth. It's just a tool, not the source. 2. Replace every "will they like this" with "do I want this?" Before doing anything, we often think, if I say this, will they like me? What will people think if I wear this? How will they react to my decision? But there's a more powerful question. Do I really want this? This question forces you to look inside, not through someone else's eyes. If you want to speak, speak. If you want to share, share. If you want to stay quiet, stay quiet. Make choices not for display, but for your soul. 3. Learn to say no. Agreeing isn't always a virtue. People who seek validation often hesitate to say no. Why? Because they're afraid. What if they don't like me? What if they get upset with me? What if I end up alone? But saying no is about protecting your identity. It's not rudeness, it's setting boundaries. Remember, not every yes is understanding. Not every agreement is sincere. Sometimes saying no is the same as saying yes to yourself. 4. Learn to accept criticism. It's not weakness, it's strength. One of the most painful aspects of validation addiction is sensitivity to criticism. A single harsh comment can echo in our minds for hours or even days. But here's the key. Criticism doesn't mean you're worthless. It simply means, this is my opinion. A mature person can listen to criticism without feeling diminished. Sometimes it's true. Accept it and use it. Sometimes it's unfair. Let it go. Sometimes you're just someone else's opposite, and that's okay. Resilience to criticism is a sign that you know who you are. And now, as a bonus, here's one more practical step. Do just one thing today without seeking any approval. Help someone without telling anyone. Create something without posting it. Take a good step even if no one sees it. Then ask yourself, even if no one praises me, am I proud of this action? If the answer is yes, you've already started to become free. Yes, we've been taught all our lives. If people like you, you're good. If they applaud you, you're right. If you're loved, you're valuable. If you have many followers, you're successful. But that mindset pulls you away from true freedom because you stop living and start seeking validation instead. True freedom begins the moment you stop wondering what others think. Real freedom is when your life no longer depends on someone else's gaze. That moment when you say, I'm making this decision for myself. I'm wearing this because I like it. I'm saying this not for praise, but because I believe in it. That's when you are truly free. Others' opinions become background noise, heard, but not guiding your path. When you choose your own path, regardless of approval, you hold real power. Someone with a need for validation always waits for a signal from others. If they approve, you move forward. If they're silent, you pause. If they criticize, you retreat. But when you choose your path, whether it's liked or not, the steering wheel is now in your hands. That's real strength. Because now, you don't rise with praise. You don't fall with criticism. You simply walk your own path. Seeking validation is shrinking yourself. A validation seeker constantly asks, do they love me? What will they think if I post this? If they don't like it, does that mean I'm wrong? These questions pull you away from your own values, as if your entire being depends on someone else's gaze. But that's not the truth. Here's the truth. You are not small enough to be measured by someone's like button. You are enough, just as you are. Think about that for a moment. You, the one watching this video, right now, in this moment, are whole and complete. Without anyone's approval, your strength is beautiful with your weaknesses. Your worth does not rise or fall with someone else's opinion. You, simply because you exist, deserve your place in this life. Stop trying to change yourself to look right. Know yourself, accept yourself, love yourself, because that's your true freedom. If this video added value to your life, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with someone who needs it, because your small act of sharing might become someone else's first step toward freedom. See you in the next video.